Boogety Boogety Boogety, JB. Welcome back to another
Hey.
episode of Fast. This is going to be a little bit late getting up, but I think we have a reasonable excuse.
We got some very good excuses.
Absolutely. I say one half of us, we were down at the Brickyard 400.
This dude, do you see this shirt right here? Look at this.
Got the limited edition hat. I don't know which side it's on.
I think that's
I say, but 369. You're rocking Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Chase Elliott. It could be Bill Elliott. It could be number 6 for Brad Keselowski. Number 9.
Or a little John from Gitlow.
It's definitely not number 3 for Austin Dillon, but it's Dale only.
No Austin Dillon love there?
Absolutely not, no.
I mean, I believe at a certain point in this race, he was a little bit leading the top 5.
You're right. At one point, Justin Haley was leading this race just too, but it's just things happen during green flag pit stops. Catherine and Legg, phenomenal race. They were up near third. Yeah, I mean,
shout out to her as well too. I've seen that.
Absolutely, but it's not about where you are at the beginning. It's not about where you are at the middle. It's all about where you are when you cross the checkered flag. And Catherine and Legg, this isn't a disparage to her. They had a really good race, but it was a fun time down at the Brickyard. Went down with my dad, and he has been, JB, now to every single track on the NASCAR schedule.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So after
that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Fresh out of high school, he's an old man, so he was back in like 76 or so, roughly. He his older sister, her husband at the time, or her boyfriend or whatever, working in like mechanic shop and stuff like that. He got my dad hooked up working on the race team. He would just kind of be running back and forth between the garage and in the pit stalls for whatever they needed. He's talking about he used to have to glue the lug nuts onto the rims and stuff. Wow. And he said he's like back in the day, when he ran the circuit with them and traveled around, Indy wasn't on the course schedule. They didn't start going there until I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But Jeff Gordon won the first race at the Brickyard.
Okay.
And he'd been to every other track. We went to the Daytona 500 in 2003. So this is now, I told him, I was like, this is our second Crown Jewel race we've been to. We went to Daytona. We've been to the Brickyard. I was like, we got the Southern 500 and the Coke 600 left to go. But I said we've been to half of them now, and a really fun time. I want to say shout out to my guy Neal Ruhl, our guy Neal Ruhl, who hooked it up. He had some other obligations, taking him away from, his ability to go to the race. So, knowing about Fast and Loose and knowing, our affinity for NASCAR, he ended up hooking it up, asking us, hey, if, with these tickets suit you guys' fancy. And they absolutely did. Fun time down there. With woke up early, race, drove down there, dealt with some crazy weather all the way down to Muncie, Indiana. It was storming
really?
It was insane. Even at the race,
there was a weather advisory, a stoppage for the last
7 laps to go, and the caution comes out, and all of us sitting down there because we were in the corner of turn 4, so the north end of the track.
Okay, yeah.
And all of a sudden we're like, What's the caution for? We're looking at the screen. We're trying to see a replay. We're looking at the track.
I was so confused.
Yeah, no one knows what's going on. I felt 2 drops over a 2-minute span, but I was I look up, it seems clear. And then they show the broadcast, the camera from looking down the straightaway of the front stretch from turn 1, and you can see the rain coming down. And it's oh yeah. And it was we were making the joke it's raining a mile away from us because it's the straightaways are a whole mile long, and then the in between the turns, the corners, it's a quarter mile. So it's a huge track.
You could definitely see it on TV because I was looking. I'm like, it doesn't look bad, but then I see up above. All right, there's some gray dark clouds coming. They go to commercial, come right back, and it's just a downpour. And I'm like, what the hell just happened?
It was insane. They got it cleaned up pretty quick though, and I will say I was happy that Bubba Wallace was able to hang on to the win throughout the race.
Let's go.
He was leading late, and it was Kyle Larson, about 4 seconds back.
Almost had 3 wins in a row for you guys. Almost.
Yeah. He's been Kyle Larson down in Indianapolis. Obviously, he ran the double earlier in the year.
Yep.
It really felt like they were shoving Kyle Larson down your throat a little bit. There was a lot of Kyle Larson merch and a lot of 11 Kyle Busch in the 1100 and just talking about the double, and there's a lot of his IndyCar diecast.
A lot of stuff on socials as well too, which I probably should have sent your way as well. But he was on socials a lot, Instagram, TikTok. I think he brought his kids out there to visit Cookie Monster or something was out there on the during the weekend. But yeah, there was a lot of Kyle Larson stuff just all over the internet. So I don't know, maybe they were pushing for him to win this race,
Yeah,
but
I mean, he won last year's race, so I mean, obviously, like you can market last year's winner. He is one of the premier drivers in the sport as well. He's one of the best drivers. He's in some of the best equipment too. And I mean, it's not that I don't like Kyle Larson or anything like that. I'm a fan of his. I just felt like there was a lot of Kyle
it was
Larson. They
a
were just
lot
promoting
over the
out there, and
weekend.
it was very cool to see a bunch of other drivers. I have some new stuff we get to pop out for the future episodes and stuff like that. We'll say put my money where my mouth is with a few drivers and
Okay,
making
all
some
right.
making some apparel purchases, rocking and rolling. So now not only are they making the car of the week rankings, but they're making the wardrobe as well. So
All right, we're gonna see this on future episodes of Fast
yeah,
and Loose for sure.
absolutely. I think I got a few for the next like 3 or 4 episodes. Um, Pretty excited. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it was a really fun race down there. The track is it at the same time like insanely huge, like it's a massive place, but it also like doesn't feel like it's like so like as big as it is. Like
Mhm.
you're walking and it's a whole mile like from where we came in at like
Like a
the
legit
entrance in the
mile.
south. Yeah, like we came in around turn 1 and we walked all the way down to turn 4 and it was a hike, but I mean, it just didn't seem like I just kind of like I don't know, maybe it was like a little like the excitement and like the eagerness
Yes,
that like kind of
excitement,
clouded it. I was
adrenaline. You're just like you don't care. You're happy that you're there. You want to be there. And you want to see everything, no matter how far away it is or how close
mhm.
up it is. You just want to see everything.
Yeah. It was sick. We popped around everywhere. I went into almost every single like merch store just to look around and stuff and was super pumped. It was such a fun time, man. This shirt, man, it was a hot commodity. I had to go around.
I mean, the tie dye is cool. So I don't think we've seen that at a race like recently.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not quite sure, but it was a hot commodity for sure. And I only saw mediums for in a few shops, and then
Oh,
finally I saw the large. And I typically go with the XL just in case of shrinkage or
yep,
some
yep.
extra poundage you put on. But yeah, I was like, if this is all they got, I'm gonna grab it. And if it's fine, it's perfect. But I was like, it was a slim pickings, and I was happy to get one. Man, I was pretty eager to get down there and like I just there was so much cool stuff. All the IndyCar stuff and like the Indy 500, like as cool as it was, I felt like I should only get that when I go
when
to
you
the
go to the Indy, yeah.
yeah. It's like separate the two. It's like I would have felt bad, but either way, I didn't really get to catch much of the IndyCar race. I watched like the replays and the highlights of it. Alex Palou, eighth win of the year. I mean, he's just running away with it. Pato O'Ward had the margin in the championship standings down to double digits at 99 points going into the weekend at Monterey, and it's back up to triple digits. So Alex Palou finishing in first, O'Ward fourth, so just off the podium.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't think O'Ward's going to end up coming through with the championship. I think it's just Palou's to
Yeah,
lose. But
it's Pelosi to
you know,
lose. Let's be honest.
either way, like it's just another. I don't Penske. I can't remember how they did either. But I was just thinking of Penske because Roger Penske owns Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and a couple of his drivers, Austin Cindric and Joey Logano, blew tires late, which kind of like ruined their
That was rough.
chances
Yeah.
to compete. Cindric was up there leading early in the race, and I know they flipped the stage in stage 1, and we're going out there early in the pack in stage 2. But yeah, fun race, JB. I mean, I've been rambling on here. Let's
No,
hear it.
no. Actually, like I wanted to hear more about it just because you were there. Obviously, I had other obligation to attend to over the weekend, but I wanted to hear more because you were there. You got to see everything the fan experience, the interactions that we got to see back at MIS. Like, how was all of that?
It was awesome, man. We were talking with a lot of people just like around the track and like in the stands and stuff like that, just sitting around us, kind of just getting excited, rooting for drivers. We all have like different like favorites more or less, but
Yeah,
like wherever your guy's running, if he's not up the front, you usually see like a couple of guys who are up in the, you're like, like kind of pulling for this guy too now. You know, like, this is my favorite driver, but you know, obviously, if he's running back in 12th right now and he's 14 seconds behind the leader, it's like, you know, what am I going to be rooting for? Like, you know, someone else is going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me try to choose like who I want to win. You know, I see like between the team, the guys competing for the lead. So, yeah, very. I mean, it was so funny to see like every time anything bad happened to Joey Logano, like the uproar, the excitement, the rowdy, like the double middle fingers up.
You
like
can't be that
people
disrespectful to this guy.
and
Come on.
What part of what I found like one of like the loudest and like most aggressive like haters of Logano was decked out in Ryan Blaney gear, which is like, so he likes Penske, or at least likes Ryan Blaney,
Yeah,
who's his Penske teammate. But it's like, you know, I part of me thought that was kind of funny, and yeah, I just yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to say like that might have been like the only person I really saw like getting like hate from. There was a couple people who
there was no Denny hate out there, because I feel like he was like another big one. That
dude, I saw a lot around us. There was a lot of people wearing Denny stuff, like Denny merch. Yeah. Like there was
different.
There was a lot of people wearing Denny Hamlin t-shirts and stuff like that. So I'm trying to think. There was a lot of Chase Elliott, obviously. I saw a lot of Denny Hamlin. He was probably the second most popular driver. Saw a few Blaney's, saw a couple Reddicks, saw like a couple Bubba Wallaces. I'm trying to see, like, I'm trying to think if there's anybody who really stood out and like as a unique. I don't think there was anything that like really shocked me. But I was joking around with my dad. I think I got
like Eric Jones.
No, I didn't see an Eric Jones. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to do the math in my head really quick. I got 1, 2, 3 driver shirts, I think, and 2 of them I think are like popular. I say everybody likes that. Everybody would get that shirt, or like everybody likes that driver type deal. The other one, I was like, no, give me that one. I was like, and like I said,
you went against the grain with that pick, didn't you?
I don't want to say I went against the grain, but I saw it and I was like, hell yeah, I'm happy to support this driver. And I was telling my dad too, like they had 2 shirts, and I only got the one because of the car on the shirt. And it was like, you know, like I said, plucking from car of the week, and you know, put it on a shirt. So I was happy to see it. I was like,
I got an idea of who this might be, but I don't know who it is for sure.
But we'll see. I wanted to wear it this week. I'll probably bust it out next week, especially if they end up like with a really solid finish. I'll be rocking it. But you know, like I said, I had to rock the Brickyard merch for this week, and you know, looking forward to, like I said, just hopefully going to a few more races, like, you know, in the later seasons to come. I doubt I'll make it anything else this year, but man,
you never know. Hey, if Neal has something else, you know, in plan for us, or if he gets some tickets or something close for us, hey,
yeah,
I mean, making a trip again.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? It was a really fun time. Like I said, a long day. Like it was about an hour and a half drive to my dad's, and then it's like just under 4 to down to Indianapolis. So a lot of time in the car, but you know, if those guys can hang around, like, you know, that was my own little like 400-mile trip for the day, I guess, or like, you know, our own little like race. So, but yeah,
shout out to Bubba Wallace though, getting it done. 100.
Stay away. No, we have the cats in here.
Shout out to Bubba Wallace though. I did think it was a little disrespectful that they put up the graphic that this is his 100th winless race, or like he said, 100 winless races
streak. Yeah,
and streak that just now is ended. Like I felt like that was a little disrespectful.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. Like people were like talking about how like they were like rigging the race. There's a lot of this like dumb controversies. Like, yeah, like the team that's openly suing NASCAR, they're like rigging to win. It's like me and my dad were talking, like, do they get the full payout of the purse as the winner, or does he only get a third of the purse as an open team? Like, how does that work?
If it's an open team, it's probably a third.
That's crazy though.
Which is gonna suck, but
we'll have to look into that.
At the same time, like I'm sure he's happy to be in and not have to worry about the cut line as well too. You saw a lot of emotion from him like after that race too, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, jumping back in, JB, about Bubba Wallace. He had been a while since he's been in victory lane. I don't know if you saw the celebrations on Instagram though.
I've seen the celebrations.
And well deserved, man. It was very happy to see him, and I was happy to see, like you said it right away too. You sent me that text, like cut line no more,
Mm-hmm.
from like from the cut line to victory lane. He's
You got to worry about it. You're good.
and really cool. I think Tyler Reddick's still now like the the most points for any non-winning driver. So feel pretty confident that 2311 is going to have 2 drivers in the playoff this season, which as they're still battling their charter status, huge for them. Like that playoff
Huge
revenue.
win for
So
them, man.
yeah, very huge.
I believe Bubba ended up calling Michael Jordan like after the race and everything, and he was just like I said, pouring with emotion. He was crying on the phone to him. He asked him like, "What did Jordan say?" And he was like, "Oh, he was just so proud of me. He's proud of the team and everything that we accomplished, especially with everything that's going on." So shout out to him. I seen his kid out there. He had held up his kid up to show everyone in the crowd, and then them kissing the bricks afterwards, which is amazing,
that's the
man.
best part, man.
The whole team out there with them.
Yeah, they get in the row. Everybody lines up. It was cool, like too, because like they obviously saw how emotional it was. They're talking to him for a second, and then his like wife and kids are right there, and then they hear him say like, "We'll give him a moment with the family," and then like they have like the camera. They kind of just like turn. They don't really like get in too close or anything. They just kind of let him be, and I was like, "That's nice, man." Just giving him a second. They could tell like the weight of the moment, all the emotions involved, and just kind of letting them have that for a second while still, like obviously like part of the job, but still really cool. I'm very happy for Bubba Wallace. I was talking to a few people. Bubba Wallace is like I don't want to say like a controversial figure, but
a little bit,
some
especially
people
when he started. Yeah,
I've talked to some people and they say like in the ways that like I kind of described like the way Kyle Larson you kind of force fed him a little bit sometimes. At least this weekend at Indy, people feel like they feel that way about Bubba Wallace sometimes, and if that's I guess like I don't really feel that way, but I guess more or less like I'm a fan, so maybe like I just have a little bit of a different perspective. But he's been racing for a while. Like he's one of like the one of like the veterans of the sport. When you kind of look at the driver rosters and you see like how old some of these guys are, it's kind of crazy. Like Denny Hamlin, 44, he's kind of like like one of these like old men, and it's like people are wondering like how much more does he have left, even though he just signed the extension with JGR. Like he was talking about like I really only have maybe like 2 or 3 more chances at the Brickyard, and this was one of them, and I might have just messed up the best chance. So he had a really fast car. I mean, this has been.
He started dead last too, I believe.
He had to go to the backup car because he spun out in qualifying, and they had to go to the backup, and they had to unwrap it. I think it was wrapped in like the 54 of Ty Gibbs, as it's the backup car, whatever you need it to be, and they had to rewrap it, got it ready to go, and he was flying out there. So, honestly, like wouldn't have been too mad if he ended up winning. Like it would have been like a lot of Denny on the season, but still at the same time to go from worst to first, to complete the career grand slam of crown jewels, like all of those different things.
He was so close, man, so close.
Yeah, so I thought that would have been pretty cool. Wouldn't have been too upset about that. On that green white checkered restart, JB, not the first one where it took out Tyler Reddick and Zane Smith. Also Joey Logano getting involved in it as well. Brad Keselowski on that second green white checkered, he goes from 10th to 5th. Very solid.
I do remember seeing that as well too.
Him and Ryan Preece ended up knocking out a couple of top 5s. Chris Buescher, I think, fell back to like 12th or 13th. Got a little bit caught up on the restart, but RFK, man, Brad, I thought he had a good chance.
When is it going to be Brad's turn? That's all I want to know, because every single race we've seen recently, he's been so close and at times out in front, but just cannot seem to like put it all together to finish off a one solid race.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's coming. I feel like all of RFK has kind of been up there, like close a bit. Like I think I've used the term like circle in the drain. Like they're right up there. Like that's probably the best way to describe it. Like they're close. Eventually, like they're gonna knock it in. I'd love to see them get the win before the playoffs start, so that way you can see one of those guys like guaranteed a spot, because it is a very tough, like tight contest as we get towards the end of the regular season of the NASCAR schedule. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see one of those guys get. I think they'll get a win before the end of the year, but it's just like getting it, before the playoffs to like guarantee that spot.
Yeah, that's what you
So
want, that guaranteed spot. And there's not that many races left, so now you're kind of in a tight position.
yeah, so but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think next week they're at Iowa,
Iowa,
and
yep.
then they're at the Glen, and then I think it's Richmond and Daytona. I think there's only 4 races left on the regular season. I might be
Ooh.
wrong. I was talking about this with somebody.
Oh,
There's a dude sitting right behind us who lived like 2 miles away from the track. He said he was like pointing
what?
over into like turn 2, and he was like, "Yeah, like he just moved out around there, and his like family came around. They drove a few hours to like come hang out with him and like watch the race. It was pretty sweet." I missed one race. So Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and then Daytona. I don't know which one I said before Daytona, but we do have 4 races
4
left
races left
on the regular
Jeez,
season,
bro.
and yeah, I mean, as it sits, the last 3 in are Reddick, Bowman, and Busher for the playoff.
All right, I mean,
And
if it
then
ended
on the
like that, I don't have
bubble,
a problem with
and
that.
then right there on the bubble behind Busher is his teammate Ryan Preece, and then about 42 points behind Chris Busher, and then 81 points behind Chris Busher is Kyle Busch. So you have Preece, Busch, Gibbs, all within 95 points at the most of Chris Busher right there on the bubble, 42 points clear of Ryan Preece. So it's going to be interesting. I think, unless we see a unique winner in one of these next 4 races, which is very, very much possible,
It is very possible.
I think we might have a pretty good idea of what the playoffs going to look like. So yeah, I guess if I had to pick one of those guys to miss the playoff, I guess it'd be Alex Bowman, but part of me doesn't want to see him miss the playoff because I feel like it kind of put his Hassit and Hendrick a little bit in
A little bit
jeopardy.
in
Maybe put
jeopardy,
him a little bit on like a hotter seat. So who knows? I mean, hey, that's what happens though. If you don't perform, you end up getting replaced. So
I can definitely see that. Hopefully, he makes it in. I mean, we don't really know, but like, I think I'm set with that. If those end up being your final few to get in.
yeah, I think so too. They're all really good drivers, and I think it'd be funny to see Kyle Busch just miss the playoff as well. It'd be a bummer for Ryan Preece to miss it, but I mean, as long as Chris Buescher gets in, I'm okay. I need to see a little bit, at least one driver from RFK represented in the playoff, and then I'm happy. If it ends up being Brad and he ends up getting a win and stealing, bumping one of his boys, hey,
I don't have a
like I
problem with
said,
that.
if RFK is in, I'm okay. I just want to see them. I'd be bummed if Roush doesn't make the playoff. They're an old team, They've been around for a while, and they had a really, really strong heyday um, in like the early 2000s and stuff. But kind of had a little bit of a dip, and I'm hoping to see Keselowski kind of bring them back into the fold. They've been running well. I just want to see them get into victory lane again. But
Hopefully they do. Shout out to our $1 million winner as well too, one Mr. Ty Gibbs.
absolutely, yeah, he
Hey,
might not make the playoffs, but he did win $1 million.
He did win $1 million. So
Absolutely, so
you can't be too
and
unhappy.
and I'm pretty sure it goes to like the team and like the manufacturer and stuff like that. But being the grandson of the owner, I think he might get a little bit.
Let's be real.
His piece of the pie is slice of cake might be a little bit bigger. Might get a little extra frosting on that cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got the corner with the balloons on it. You know what I'm saying?
100,000, 200,000, something around that range.
He gets the extra frosting flour that's on. But man, what I'm interested to see, JB, you want to get into a little bit of that gas pass crash from Indy?
Yeah, I think you're up first, right?
Hell yeah, I'll kick us off. I'll start off. I'm gonna give the gas to our guy Bubba Wallace. There was a question about if he had enough fuel to make it. They were telling him to conserve on the green white checkers. They said, I'm pretty sure we have enough for 1 restart. 2 will be questionable, and ends up just having enough. Has enough to do the donuts, does the burnout. He's up against the pit road wall, outer wall, and starts just spinning the tires, and then eventually he just spins them for a little bit, and then just runs right out of gas. So he had a fast car, had a 4-second lead with 7 to go before the rain came in the south part of the track down in turn 1 and turn 2, and was able to hold on through the first restart and the second. Kyle Larson charging, pushing, trying to get that win, going back to back at the Brickyard, but lo and behold, Bubba Wallace getting the win. Big win for 23-11. big win for himself, snapping a streak and locking himself in the playoff. I know, like I said, big deal for that team. So shout out to Bubba Wallace. Definitely getting this week's gas from myself. My pass, it's a tough one. I'm trying to think right now. I think I'm gonna give this pass. This is a positive pass to Catherine Legg, starting near the back of the pack. Had a really good running. I think they showed their ability as a driver, and I'm hoping and I'm pretty sure that they're going to get some more opportunities, whether it's in the Cup, whether it's Xfinity, whether it's in the trucks. Like I definitely think Catherine Legg showed at the Brickyard. They're a pretty competitive driver. You get them in some good equipment, and they can go out there and they're not just logging laps for you. They can go out there and they can try and they can get you a top 10, maybe they can get you a top 5. So, I think was really happy to see that, and I'm gonna double down too. I'm gonna add another car, JB, to my pass.
Okay.
Because I did write this down and I've just now remembered about it. I'm giving a huge pass to Josh Bilicki in the number 66. That car was way too slow to be out there. He nearly got lapped within like the first 25 laps of the whole race.
I felt so bad for him.
We were watching it run around, and that's the thing too. Like at the beginning, Catherine Legg and Josh Bilicki were like both fell off the pack, and they weren't looking good. Catherine Legg salvaged that day and ran really well. Josh Bilicki did not. Like they did. The only reason they didn't come in last was because other people crashed out and fell multiple laps behind. But like that car, like I just at multiple times I was like, this should be black flagged. It doesn't belong on the track. It's not as fast as these guys. Like it's just definitely like that's a pass.
That was a rough one, yeah.
For Josh Bilicki right there. And then my crash. They were out early, man. It was a bit of a bummer. I know they tried to get the car rolling again, but just ran out of time getting it taken care of. Ross Chastain had that Busch Lime scheme the first time they've rolled it out all year, and man, I'm double dipping on this one too because I'm also giving the crash to Zane Smith, who got spun out by Christopher Bell. He was running like 13th, bit of a bummer. I'm a Zane Smith fan, so I was bummed out to see that. I know I'm not thinking it was intentional from C-Bell, but maybe he heard I was going to get his koozie, and I decided to go with a Tyler Reddick instead. So he took that personally and took out one of my other drivers that I enjoy. But yeah, I mean, like I'm double dipping on I double dipped on the pass. I'm double dipping on the crash to Ross Chastain, and then Zane Smith getting spun out. Bummer to see. Ended up collecting a few people. Tyler Reddick, he goes high up on the wall. One of the guys who loves to ride the wall, and there's just nothing he could do. Zane Smith ends up going up into the wall, just head on, just spins him around some more, and then as Zane Smith's doing the whirly bird or through from the top of the wall down into the corner, he just ends up bumping into Logano, and I think there's someone else right behind him who ended up getting a little bit, but not as bad. And like I said, that people were going nuts watching the replay, seeing Logano get collected.
Just Logano haters, man.
Yeah. Funny, but either way, that's gonna be my gas, pass, and crash, JB.
Well, like car of the week, we are double dipping once again because me and you are kind of lockstep with almost every single one of these. Actually,
oh no shit.
Yeah, so obviously my gas goes to Bubba Wallace. The team 2311. Hey, kitty, is just having some trouble. So obviously, this win helps him out a lot, especially with Bubba Wallace. Emotion across this guy's face for all the races that he's been in and hasn't had the quite momentum to get it done, to finally get it done at the Brickyard. Just to see him crying on TV, on the TNT broadcast afterwards, just hoping that his dad is just proud of him, that, he was just out there enjoying racing and that he had fun. So that's got to be my gas to him. My pass, I got to go to Denny Hamlin. Start the race.
Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah, he literally passed almost.
And then just somehow ends third. Like, how? Just how? This man has some magic in this car right now. I don't even know. And my grass, Mr. Ross Chastain, which this car might or might not make an appearance on car of the week.
Okay, yeah, it looked pretty good.
But also got to give a shout out to, as you said, Catherine Legg as well too, and the fact that there were 6 young ladies driving in the ARCA series.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty impressive.
I got to catch a little bit of the truck race. They were at the sister track. It's like the oval, right? Not too far away. I forget what it's called, but that was a really good race. Lane Riggs just dominated that race. So yeah, we kind of just swept all three stages. It was pretty crazy. And then Connor Zilic ended up winning Saturday in the Xfinity Series at the
Yep.
Brickyard. So that was a fun race. The 100th win for JR Motorsports as well.
Nice.
So pretty huge for them in the Xfinity Series. They're pretty solid force. I think they definitely, I think like in the 2000s and stuff, back when like they were doing a lot of bushwhacking, RCR was kind of like one of the premier Xfinity teams, and then JGR as well. Like they're, like I said, when the Cup guys would go down and run the Bush Series and make that extra payday and stuff like that, and win those like championships and stuff. But now I think JR Motorsports has done a really good job of like developing and like being one of those like top teams in the Xfinity Series. So I know we don't talk a lot about the under series of NASCAR, the other two, but you know, we still do pay a little bit of attention. And whatnot.
We still keep our eyes to them. We
Yeah.
might not talk about them, but we know what's going on.
Heck yeah. Well, they got the gas crash done, JB. You want to dive into some of those cars of the week?
Cars of the week. Hopefully we don't have any overlapping, but once again, we might.
Hell yeah. I think I had a soft 4. I had like some picked out, and then I think it was like being at the track, I had a couple that were like some like easy, like, yeah, like that one's going on there. So a little bit of like a little cut up to episode. We have the recording this week is a little bit different. Obviously, like, we were not in JB's spot. We're in the Loose Studios, the Loose Garage, and it's not quite set up. It's definitely a bachelor's pad. There's not shit on the walls right now. But
we got to get a lady over here to get you an interior design.
Yeah, maybe. If I have a lady over, I don't want her focusing on putting stuff on the walls. But
maybe in the morning. How about that?
But either way, JB, I know you usually kick us off. I'm very excited and eager to see what you have cooking for our cars of the week right now. So yeah, a lot of really cool rides. And I think we definitely have one overlap. I'm gonna be surprised if it doesn't make. I'm gonna be surprised if it doesn't make your list. But yeah,
I feel like we have 2 that's definitely gonna overlap, and it's probably this one right here. I start off number 5 from the Xfinity Series, number 99. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but Matt Diabento.
Oh, DiBenedetto. Yeah. The Savannah Bananas.
The Savannah Bananas car. I mean, I'm a fan of the team. They're fun to watch. I wish I could go to one of your games. Hopefully, maybe down the line. But
hell yeah,
Savannah Banana car. I was like, oh, this is cool as hell. That's what's up.
Yeah, no, that's badass. I was watching. I caught like my old roommate was over for a little bit. He caught a little bit of the race and he saw that and he was like, "They have a team sponsor." I was like, "Yeah, like they have a car."
See,
it's pretty
that's
sick.
What's up?
Hell yeah.
Number 4, I gotta go with Mr. Brendan Poole from the Xfinity Series as well. To number 44, the Toxic Waste Chevrolet car.
Okay. Hell yeah.
A little bit different, but I like the green and the yellow. It reminds me of Slime back in the day from like the Nickelodeon days, just like thrown up against a car.
And JB, that's 2 weeks in a row because you're talking about them last week. You shouted out JJ Yaley and you were like, these guys don't really get enough love. But I was talking about like they ran Brandon Poole at Pocono. He ran both those races and getting some more love again, driving the 44 in the Xfinity Series.
Hey,
so hell yeah.
Shout out. Number 3, our girl, Catherine Legg, driving the number 32 Tequila, the Tsuno.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it. The Sundo or the Tequila one. I just thought it was cool. It's a nice light colored car. Green as well too, but it's just like a nice light car that out there running for the Cup Series. That was just cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. Got to show her some love. Number 2, I don't know. We might have 3 cars that are just the same as well too. Chris Buescher, the number 17, the Kroger's the Diet Cherry Coke.
The 80s scheme, that was sick. Hell yeah.
I thought that one was cool. I love the colors. The red's like mixing in from the top to the bottom. They kind of go from darker to lighter, especially with the can on the back as well too. So I thought that was cool. And number 1, this week he wasn't the watermelon man. He was the lime man. Mr. Ross Chastain driving the number 1 Busch Light Lime Chevrolet. He's switching it up. I mean, this week didn't go so well for him, so he might want to go back to the watermelons for me. But the lime car was cool as hell.
Hell yeah. Um, Funny you mentioned that, JB. We have some slight overlap, but
Oh boy.
not sort of. Funny you call him the lime man and not the watermelon man, though, because I I feel like in my car of the week, JB, it's a little bit misnamed. I feel like I should be doing truck of the week. Actually,
Really? Oh,
I
you
have
got more
more
trucks?
trucks than
Oh,
cars.
okay, that was a shock.
I was looking through them and I actually had to do a replacement. I will admit, going into the weekend, my soft four. Before I saw how slow that car was, Josh was like, "You did maybe."
You had that
They
car.
they were doing like a ripoff of like RFK with like the look of like the chrome numbers and stuff like that. They almost snuck in. They almost, JB,
Mm-mm.
almost. It was like I brought a hoe home, but then the family told me like, "Hey, don't make that hoe that your housewife."
Don't make a whole housewife.
And so I was like, "Yeah, I had to take it out. I could not throw that in there." But it was it almost did make. I will admit it did
Oh
almost
my
make it in
god.
there. So but kicking us off, JV, my my car, or I guess I'm gonna start off with a truck first. It's gonna be, and I gotta look up who the driver is. Actually, I'm missing the name right now. Um, Brent Cruz drove the number one Mobile One Toyota truck, and like
Okay.
again, like Mobile One, just a six sponsor. I'm seeing on a truck, a little bit of like an old school style like look and theme to it on that paint scheme.
Definitely old school style.
I felt like the red was lighter, the blue was lighter than what you saw, and I like I don't know, just the Pegasus threw it back. I haven't seen the Pegasus on a Mobile One sponsor in a little bit, so
Mm-hmm.
throwing that back. Another truck I want to shout out, JB, and I'll jump into this one because you called him the Lime Man this weekend. But if you
The
saw
watermelon
in the
man.
truck series,
Yep.
JB,
Yep.
the Watermelon Man was back driving that watermelon truck, the Ileana Watermelon Association Chevrolet from Ross Chastain, that
Yeah.
number
Yep.
44. Pretty badass. I mean, it's legit a watermelon
It's
paint
legit
scheme on the
watermelon.
truck. So
I had that in mind too. I was like, "Oh, this is good," but then I remember like I can't double dip on Ross on this one.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna break it up. I have one more truck to name, but I'm gonna slide in one of the other cars that I have in my car of the week rankings. This is an Xfinity car, JB. It is a spicy pick. I don't know. It depends on if you like spicy mayo.
I knew
Justin
it.
Allgaier,
I knew it.
who has the most wins for JR Motorsports in 25 of their 100, a quarter of their wins. Justin Allgaier, I thought he might be the one to get him that 100th. Uh, Nonetheless, he was driving that spicy mayo Hellman's. I don't like mayo, but I mean, if you're making me pick a mayo, I guess I'll pick spicy mayo just because spicy. I'm still not going to eat it, but I'll just say
I
like, yeah,
mean, give it a shot.
something about mayo just not for me, JB. Kind of grosses me out.
Eh.
Just so yeah, but like I said, I feel this has just been refreshing. I've had, like I said, I've had a lot of trucks. I had an Xfinity car. I had a few weeks of just nothing but Cup cars. They'd been throwing
Yep.
out so much heat in the Cup, and not that they didn't have nice cars this week, but I just felt like I got to like take a nice
Just
breath
breathe
of
a
like
little bit of new fresh air.
all three of the series and stuff. So I'm gonna jump back into the trucks. The first truck I ever shouted out, JB, the number 5. It was that coach truck they drove at Michigan. This one is
Yes.
the Octane 94 from Tody Brittinger, the Sunoco 94 Octane Toyota. Badass. I mean, the Sunoco fuel is what they run in NASCAR.
Of
It has the
course.
Sunoco colors and everything. It's just a badass look. And yeah, like I said, that was the first truck I saw that was like, damn, that's so badass. It made me even want to shout out a truck and say what's up to him. So uh, definitely had to make the list. My number one truck, I suppose, of my car of the week rankings. But the car of the week, we're getting back to the big boys, the Cup Series, and maybe there's a little bit of homerism in this pick. I dogged him a little bit last week.
Oh boy.
I was kind of poking fun, and Ryan Blaney has already drove this scheme, and Joey Logano as well. So this is another hand-me-down for Josh Berry in the number 21 Wood Brothers PPG paints. But it was the PPG paints Brickyard 400. It was a sick-looking car. Like we talked about.
Just like the fact that you just called him another Hamdy down. Like, here you go.
I mean, it's what it is. They're like the affiliate of of Penske and stuff like that. They have the partnership, but it's still a sick look. The Wood Brothers Classic. I was surprised to see this because I remember when they ran the Darlington Throwback way back when. they said that they liked it so much they wanted to run that at Indy, that green car, because you said you didn't like it, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, JB, getting ready for Indy because they're gonna be running again. I don't know if like they decided not to, or I'll have to try to look into that, but I'm pretty sure they wanted to run that paint scheme again, and for whatever reason, they ended up rocking with the PPG paints, maybe because it's the sponsor, and there was already um, like sponsors lined up where you have to like meet certain like
requirements.
yeah, like you have to have so many like races with like
I
the
could see
Shell
that,
or like
yeah.
the Menards or the Discount Tire, and so like you had like instead of Josh Berry being able to drive that other one, he had to like take up one of these other spots that like
I
just
can
kind of
see that, yeah.
to check those boxes. So not really sure, but still, nonetheless, I had to throw a little bit of shade last week at them. So I think they're bumping back this week, making the top of the list. It was a really, really cool looking car. So it has like the blur on it of like the paint scheme too. And like I said, sponsored the race. I'm rocking the PPG paints, like tie-dye shirt, got the hat on.
True.
So, overall, really, really fun time, man. It was, we got to go back, JB. Like, I'm like looking forward to like going down there with
I
you
would definitely
sometime.
be down to go again.
I want to go down for the Indy 500 too. Like that was so badass, dude. Like next year, I definitely think we should try to get some tickets, and like not even just get tickets. Like let's look into like how much a campsite costs
I'd be down.
in the infield, man. That I was like looking out, like during the race, I'd be like checking out the infield and stuff like that, and it's just like, man, that looks like so much fun. So
I'd be down. And aren't they coming back to San Diego next year?
yeah, so they're not doing the Chicago street course. They're going to be going to the Coronado Air Force Base in San Diego.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be one to check out definitely for sure. I was
Hell
actually looking at some tickets for that to see
that'd be
what
badass.
the price range would be and us getting out there.
Hell yeah, no, that'd be sick as hell. Like I've never been out to San Diego. I've never been out to California at all. I've never been as far west past Utah. But
Okay.
But yeah, either way, man, it's that'd be super cool. Definitely have a few more tracks. Would love to get to. I mean, telling my dad like we got to go to the Coke 600 at some point. We got to go to the Southern 500 at some point. I mean, we've been to 2 of the 4.
You got to complete it, yeah.
Yeah, my mom was a big Dale Jr. fan, so she'd probably be super stoked that he got that 100th win, the JR Motors. She's a big Dale Jr. fan.
Nice.
So yeah, but yeah. I mean, JB, you have anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to like get a look forward to as we get head to Iowa or any other recaps? I have one other thing I want to mention before.
I mean, we head to Iowa this weekend. I'll definitely have to look in to see who I'm placing the bet on today. Obviously, I'm not upset that Bubba won. I'm happy for him. Kyle Larson was right there, right next to him. He tried his best to squeak past him, but it was not happening in those final laps of the race. And I was like, you know what? I can't be upset. I can't be too upset.
Yeah.
So shout out to Bubba Wallace once again. And I'll definitely look to see who I'll be placing some money on down in Iowa.
Hell yeah. No, I hear you, man. It'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting race to see. Right now, early feel is some reason I got Ryan Blaney vibes right now. But that may change. That's just kind of like they just put an invisible gun to my head, and I just was like Ryan Blaney. That's the first name that popped in my head.
That's not a bad choice, or it could be a bounce back for Joey.
Oh, you know what? Chris Buescher. That was the second name that popped in my head. Chris Buescher, another driver who we've been talking about, we're rooting for, and want to see locked into the playoff. I think Chris Buescher. is going to end up getting the win. Stop it, Samson. And securing himself in the playoffs. So either Ryan Blaney or Chris Buescher. Those are my picks. So, but yeah, the one other thing, JB, I wanted to quickly talk about was the Austin Hill incident. I don't know if you saw that from the Xfinity race, but Eric Almirola bumps him a little bit, and he just wrecks him. It was like you were watching, or like you were playing a video game, and you just literally wreck the car next to you, and he gets parked. And on the radio, he's like, "Fuck NASCAR!" Like, "Fuck this." He's just like he's getting all pissy and stuff. And I think it's going to be a really interesting situation.
Was that 12 minutes of like angry radio talk that I heard?
Probably.
Okay.
I haven't listened to the full thing yet, but I just kind of been hearing like recaps of it and stuff, and like, yeah, I just it's going to be interesting, like what happens with him, and also too, JB. We were walking around at the infield looking at all of like the car haulers for like the driver merch and stuff like that. We're walking around, we go down the one row and we get to the end and we walk across, and I'm like a few steps ahead of my dad, and we walk up and he gets so close to the trailer and he sees what trailer, and he's like, "I don't want nothing to do with this," and he walks away. He's like, I like Kyle Busch, but I don't want nothing to do with this trailer. It was the
Really?
It was the RCR trailer, bro.
Wow.
He was like, I want nothing to do.
Wow.
So the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. They say there's a little bit of animosity towards that whole race team, just for like I said, the disrespect towards Dale. So many number threes. He was on the program for the race, so they love Dale. He's like literally like so many times people just throwing the 3 up and stuff like that. Like when they're going around starting the race, like here's a green flag. It's so fun. So it'd be interesting to see. In the other series, like I kind of don't mind RCR as much, but when you have like Jesse Love, I think is a good guy to root for, an easy guy to root for. But when you have like Austin Hill, man, I think he's I don't know. I think he's an interesting character. He kind of benefited earlier in the season. I think he kind of got away with like not only a win, but some of like the other drivers kind of stealing the spotlight back in Martinsville when we had that messy race way back when.
Okay.
But Austin Hill, I think he's like right there in the mix of like those guys who are just like, there's like toeing the line and there's crossing the line. And I think he does a little bit more crossing the line
and toeing it. Which is fair. I mean, sometimes you just need that, just that spark of new life and energy into races. So I think this could be positive.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But either way, oh man, like really fun, really cool. Excited to like just be at the track, get to go to another race this season. I wasn't expecting that at all. Again, shout out to Neal. Thank you again. And like I said, made my dad, like I said, like he's been to every track now on the NASCAR schedule. So you like helped like he took me to a Daytona 500. I got to like scratch his back 22 years later and take him to a Brickyard 400. So it was really cool.
Back full circle. Look at that,
really, really, really cool, and appreciate that. So, excited to see what happens the rest of this regular season, and then when it comes playoff time, I mean, it's going to be really, really fun.
The playoffs,
so, yeah,
playoffs.
So we're about a month away, JB. So we get to end the regular season at Daytona, another big race, and then we got a couple like some nice solid races. We got Iowa, another road course, going to the Glen. That's a classic though. They've been to the Glen for forever. And then you got Richmond and Daytona. There'll be some really fun races to end the regular season. And shout out to Chase Elliott, who's currently the regular season points leader. So might have some more some Chase Elliott stuff to rep and rock as well. Okay. We'll see. We'll see who we're rocking, repping, and representing next week. But I say this has been episode 20. The Tony Stewart.
Dude, what?
The Tony Stewart. The Matt Kenseth Part 2. The Christopher Bell. The early Eric Jones, the Brendan Jones in the Xfinity, the Denny Hamlin in the Xfinity series. Like, there's been so many drivers in number 20. Yeah, there's so many different drivers in number 20. I'm always going to think of Matt Kenseth. Christopher Bell's doing a really good job, though. Of like, Joey Logano drove the 20. That was who took over again, too. Like, there's so many different drivers who drove the number 20, like that you could associate with this episode. But either way, this has been Fast and Loose with JB Smooth and Chase Elliott. Anyway, he's fast, I'm loose, and we'll catch you guys. And episode 21, Wood Brothers Racing episode, the longest tenured team in NASCAR. So shout out to Wood Brothers.
The Wood Brothers episode.
Promise no poking fun at Josh Berry next week. Even if he's another hand-me-down scheme, we won't mention it. It'll be like the elephant in the room that just goes unaddressed. So, but shout out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.